Right, we're going to start over. We've rebooted everything, a hard reboot on everything. Let's see where we go, what kind of audience numbers we get now. I'm going to have to reshare everything to everywhere. So while we see what kind of audience numbers we get, play a little music. Yeah?
Tell them all the stink and dirty.
Let's see if they feel better.
Double them. You free them, but run for your life. You free them,
share it. Tell everybody.
You free them, but run for your life. You free them. They come out of bus man. They blows the belting like they want to bus man. No matter what they do, me I no bound for them. We they get in like they want to come for me. So tell them come for me. Right now I'm feeling the tension, and it's too much to mention. It take up all my attention. Holy faith.
Monday, 12th of June.
And all the time you abuse me.
Monday, 12th June, 2017.
Holy faith. I was born in a village. I learned my upbringing, where all was forgiving. So I'm in tune with my spirit. I was born as a warrior. My father was a slave fighter. So why is that no pushover? Now we're fighting back. They come out of bus man. They blows the belting like they want to bus man. No matter what they do, me I no bound for them. We they get in like they want to come for me. So tell them come.
Share it.
Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them will walk on.
All listen. Mess we now with it.
Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them will want to stop me.
Not at all.
My friend, no stick and friend, no demand. I say holy
You see what happened outside the Parliament Friday? Wake up call. PP on the road. Saturday, we shall go on us. PP on the road, Progressive Empowerment Party. And you see what they do? Watch this.
all them bad mind people, them who trying.
Watch this.
See them with them big stick like they want pay bloody. Hit them with powder, tell them all the stink and dirty. Stink and dirty. Yes, they call me inhuman, descendant of the blue one. Yeah, and this is my dominion. Holy faith. I have made preparation. I have faced tribulation. This is my declaration. Holy faith. In the deep bush where I come from serpents and scorpions run when they see my right hand. Fearing them for destruction.
You don't start this thing and come in this thing small. You don't come in this thing to join up with the existing party to look to play looking for post and position. I tell people already, avoid me if you're coming looking for somebody to sweat for somebody else's fever. That ain't my thing at all. Friend, family, foe. Once you're in stupidness, you're getting called out and I'm telling you plain as day. Right? Like Mr. Faris Al-Rawi. Mr. Faris Al-Rawi, we need to deal with you. But as your partner, Keith Christopher Rowley, and I tell Trinidadians, Keith Rowley's entire posture and position has changed. And he seems to have adopted the PEP message. Is he trying to be more progressive in his thinking? More empowering to remain relevant? Isn't it too late though? 31 years of barking dog and 5 months of PEP and all of a sudden you want to focus on the constituency level of representation? Anyway, I did tell you to steal the ideas. Never thought you would have jumped at the opportunity so enthusiastically. I said, and you are check to you know, Rowley. You and Kamala, or they're playing bright. Hear this now. This is Keith Rowley, you know. Last week, after waiting very patiently for the report from the committee that examined Petrotrin, I want to give the country the assurance that all the recommendations made with regard to the health of Petrotrin, as long as they find favor with the government, those recommendations will be implemented in the shortest possible order. Here it is. After Labor Day, I will be coming out in the constituencies to meet you on a regular basis. And on that score, we will then mark the cards of everyone, he said. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we did a little evaluation on every member of parliament and every government minister. Now he's doing it too. We talk about live sport on E-Beam like all you forget about it. I read in the papers today. E-Beam in the story, in the news again. It's like they don't know what they're doing. They really don't know what they're doing. So when people tell me, these two parties' advisors sit down every night, focus, like Andrew Gabriel lawyers, stop on this video every night. Because they had to see what's going on. But I want to ask a question. In this country here, if the people didn't allow it, could it happen? The bullshit going on in the parliament, could it happen? You have people trying to distract you with nonsense. Underage brides, that is the latest thing, you know. Brace for after that is hanging and is is to distract you from what is going on with the QREP interchange. The QREP interchange, the property they're going to build the QREP interchange on. I don't know if he sell it, but Rohan Sinanan is one of the owners. How could the Minister of Works and Transport build an interchange on his property? Your name is Rahal? How you could do that? Rahal Boulevard. How much we rent that for? From PNM, from John Rahal. How much we rent it for when they was fixing Taruba Road and UNC was in office? So miss me with that bullshit. PNM, UNC, same friggin' crapo. And they're trying to fool you and distract you and they're going into the parliament to play nonsense. Listen to them. I was playing a video earlier of Faris Al-Rawi in 2012, talking something that Faris Al-Rawi in 2017 is a stranger to. Keith Rowley in 2009 went to the parliament because he had get fired. He went up against Calder and Calder slapped him down. So he went out in the public looking for support and lie on his leader because he lied on his leader. Because if he had told the truth, if this big mouth man had told the truth, he'd have followed through. But he didn't. Nothing has come out of nothing. Nothing has come out of nothing. Nothing. No allegation against the PNM was prosecuted under the UNC. No allegation against the UNC is being prosecuted under the PNM. Why? I know lawyers in the DPP's office that are of the highest calibers of attorney. Why is the DPP not prosecuting offenders? Is it because the DPP has to wait on a report from the police, or does the DPP instruct? In some cases, I'm not sure which is which. But the Commissioner of Police, I am taking up a public collection in town tomorrow. I'm going with a cup and a sign that says I am collecting money to buy a pen for the Commissioner of Police. The Commissioner of Police need a pen. Because if the Commissioner of Police had a pen, the thousands of firearm users license sit down on his desk somewhere, he'd have sign off. Because when it reaches his desk, it's recommended by a whole police station. You know the process to get a firearm user's license in this country. You have to go for fitness tests. You have to go for psychological tests. Police have to come in your house and examine your whole house. Show me where you're going to be resting down the gun so it's safe. When you go through all that bullshit, that document gets signed off by a corporal or better, and it gets forwarded to the Commissioner of Police, recommended. And there, unfortunately, because Stephen Williams does not have a pen, people are at risk. And that is unfair, because I don't want to blame Stephen Williams for his lack of stationery. So I want to go and take up a collection and buy him a pen. And I want to go and hand it to him live on video and say, Stephen Williams, use this pen to either confirm or deny all of those applications, so all of those people could use the appeals process. So you could justify why you deny them. Because this whole country awash with a talk and a rumor that the only way to get a firearm user's license is to bribe somebody. So is the police service in the bribe business? Somebody had to ask the question. How do you get a firearm user's license? My best partner in the world, Gary Griffith, this is still my go-to man. Gary was a Minister of National Security. He in Barbados now. Let me see if he take my call. I want to ask Gary, how you get a firearm user's license? What is the process? What's the process? I will only hold him for 2 minutes if he answer the phone. If he answer, but I'm telling you, if I don't get him, I'll try and call Wayne Sturge. Faris, you could volunteer and call too. People tell me I'm only using UNC lawyers. Gary, you're live, you know. I'm letting you know up front. You're hearing me? I call you for a reason. Gary, Trinidad want to know why it is so difficult after police stations approve people for a firearm user's license. Why does it go nowhere after that?
You mean put into the application for a firearm user's license?
Yes.
Okay, but this system is the only person who has sole authority to issue a firearm user's license is the Commissioner of Police. Many people will continue to criticize ministers of national security or the PNM or the UNC. That is not the case. And what has happened is over the last few years, we have commissioners of police who, because of their personal perception that law-abiding citizens do not have a right to defend themselves, they do not have a right to bear arms, they just put it on, it's stockpiled. Now, there's a reason why it is the Commissioner of Police does not even reply to the individuals when they respond, when they apply. Because if you reply and reject it, it now gives you the only opportunity you have now, the window, which is that you can go to the appeals board. And that is why when I was the minister, I drafted a note to have this thing rectified. It's a colonial system where the one man and one man alone dictates whether persons have a right to defend themselves.
But that is archaic, Gary. That is archaic. And right now they have a video circulating on social media. And next set of gangbangers looking in the video, in the screen, in the camera. No mask, nothing. With a big AR-15 and I don't know, Uzi, I don't know about gun. Automatic weapons, like what certain people use in Kabuto. But they're in the street and they bowl. But in the street and they bowl with it. Bowl with it.
Exactly. And the point is, the present acting Commissioner of Police, I mean, in fairness to him, apart from the fact that he cannot do anything and he doesn't have the ability for technology to understand how to move the police service forward, they look at about FUL as a minor issue because of the number of priorities that they have. And that is why there are over several thousand persons who have applications there, and he's not even going to look at it. Now, this also causes an avenue for corruption.
How many you said?
Where persons, pardon?
How many?
About 7,000.
Wow. Yeah, continue.
And just to go back, yeah, and what this causes the window for corruption, whereby certain persons will then claim to tell individuals, if you come under me and I train you in the use of a firearm, which at times they may very well decide to hold, which it may very well be that they could be charged to because they will now be in possession. But the point being is that they will now be paid, and they charge these persons $5,000, and they claim that they will put their application on the top of the pile. So it has been rumored that this actually happens and certain persons get through. And that is why it should not be under Commissioner of Police. Let me add quickly, what this also causes is that persons who get FULs, because the Commissioner of Police selects it and there's no other body, persons may have a firearm user's license, because when you get it, you have to go through a psychological evaluation, you have to do a background check, you have to make sure the person is of strong body and mind. Nothing like that is done for years after. So an individual who has an FUL, a police officer, a soldier, a security guard who has an FUEC, that's the employee certificate, all of these individuals after 10 years, because of a change in their financial status, domestic life or personal affairs, may very well not be of the strong body and mind to hold a firearm, but they still do. And this causes a window for persons that can use these weapons for the wrong reason, which is why my recommendation that I had put as the minister was to have an oversight body that will look into this, look into all applications. So it's not a case about giving weapons to everyone. So when people claim that, when I think the opposition claim that people should have the right to bear arms and to have firearms, it is the Commissioner of Police. We have to change that law where this colonial, outdated system of one man and one man alone must be the deciding factor to tell an individual that you do not have the right to protect your family, to protect your assets.
Gary, thank you for taking the call. I know I think you're on vacation. I'm going tomorrow to do a collection in Port of Spain with a sign that I'm saying I'm collecting money to buy a pen for the Commissioner of Police, because clearly he doesn't have a pen to sign off on the applications, either approve or deny, so people could make use of the appeals process. But I am hoping that when you come back, that you will join me in bringing some kind of petition or legal action to change this situation.
Well, Philip, but let me just add, it's not just the citizens who are suffering because of the lack of proactive activity, I should say, by the Commissioner of Police. We also have the police officers themselves. You saw, I think there's another video where a man had a knife and the police were forced to draw their firearms. I put it down. I sent it as a cabinet note. I sent it as a budget that all police officers must have all systems for minimum use of force. At this time, all they have is verbal persuasion straight to the firearm. And if they're trigger happy, they shoot too soon, people will say that they abuse their power. Each police officer must have, from verbal persuasion, the radio, the baton, then pepper spray, and then the taser until you actually come to the firearm. And the Commissioner of Police has refused to do.
Where's
So
the
even the
training?
police officers themselves, they are suffering.
What happened to the training academy you were building?
When it was there, it is there. In fact, the training academy was actually in Kabuto Barracks. So, and that training academy...
Stop tying everything to Faris and his children with the guns, please.
No, you see, that the point is, police officers do not have an indoor range to shoot. They do not have a range itself. So that is where we formed the National Security Training Academy in Kabuto, instead of what SWAT had, where only an elite few in SWAT had the opportunity to be trained in counter-revolutionary warfare, counter-terrorist drills, anti-ambush drills, cordon and searches and so forth, joint patrols, joint operations. And that is why we formed that National Security Training Academy. But unfortunately, that, as well as the Rapid Response Unit, the Highway Patrol Unit, the Community Comfort Patrol, the National Operations Center, the E999, the GPS and all of the vehicles, the Counter-Terrorist Unit, the Counter-Intelligence Unit. I could go on whole night for it. All of these things have now been shut down and dismantled. And again, just 2 years ago, I will let the listeners know, 2 years ago, in my last 45 days, we had 21 homicides. We were going at a ratio of less than 180 per annum. 6 months later, in that same year in 2015, we moved to over 600 per annum over the first 45 days that Minister Dillon took office.
Gary, let me tell you something. Go back and enjoy your vacation. I apologize for disturbing you. I just needed some clarity. I'm going to take up a collection and buy Acting Commissioner Stephen Williams a pen. I'm going to present it to him live on video. But when you come back, I want to meet with you. When you come back, I want to meet with you to discuss some sort of legal action or petition or something has to be done to force this situation to change. It cannot continue like this.
Okay, but let me say, quickly to close off, it can change by it going to Parliament. The 41 persons who sit in there, who refuse to have pepper spray be given for females to protect themselves, who are the ones who can change it. It is Parliament that can change this thing from the Commissioner of Police being the sole person to decide.
Well,
so the pressure can be done right there in Parliament to change it into a committee.
Well, then let's get some legislation drafted for them to help them, because clearly they might be missing pens too. Because clearly something is preventing these people from doing their jobs, and the people of the country are living in total abject fear.
Yeah, and again, if it is that the law enforcement agencies in a country cannot protect you, you have a right to protect yourself.
One of the people watching the video say I am running up your roaming bill. So before I do your sham for, let me let you go. All right, brother, thanks a lot for taking the call. Take care, buddy.
Okay.
Former Minister of National Security Gary Griffith, and I'm showing you all we disagree no end on that Faris Al-Rawi children guns nonsense. But I said to Trinidad and Tobago, he's the most effective Minister of National Security we have ever had. And I tell you something, there is something called emotional intelligence. You don't have to love me, you know. But if I could do the job, hire me. Don't hire people you could love. Plenty of people just make that mistake. Look what's going on in the Parliament. King Klong went up on the stage and tell Trinidad, every time the PNM in office, Trinidad advances. And I almost choked, because I said to myself, I was alive when Eric Williams was the Prime Minister. When these fellas, Johnny O and them, was raping the country, you could say names, you could say things that went on into infamy. Lock joint, DC9 scandal. They charged the country $1 billion to build a Caroni racing complex. They never even put on a foundation. And that was Eric Williams' days. When Manning come, he make Eric blush. Manning went through a whole oil boom in a year. He spent it, but you could have passed by Manning and said, Manning have an idea. He said, look, $1 million, finish the idea. They 600, I hear, Prado, Audi, all kind of nonsense. Park up still in Hyatt car park. Go and see that. $700,000 a room to build, you know. Go and check the audit, and you go see people coming on the wall to say, boy, Philip, you read that bad. Read that bad. How much money it just cost Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley, to outfit Brian Lara box? I get the info. How much money it just cost Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley? You're saying you care about people, you're doing well, Trinidad going forward. How much Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' dollars? How many millions of Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' dollars you just spend to outfit the Brian Lara personal fiefdom in the Brian Lara tsunami shelter? How much? How much? How much, Keith Rowley? Tell the nation. Because when you went, I went to the then Prime Minister in 2003 and tell him about massive corruption in Unicott. You was talking about Taruba. You was talking about Scarborough Hospital. Taruba was approved for 136 million. It crossed $1 billion, brother. And you come in after and spend the next 200 million. You're shame to go up there on that platform in front of the last few remaining diehards that you have. All they didn't want to show the crowd. You didn't want to picture that crowd at all, because even PNM people spitting you out right now. Even PNM people, and I tell Trinidad and Tobago, go for a drive. Go for a drive, because in 1 3-mile radius, you have the obscenity of that Couva hospital that costs $1 billion that could have built 10 hospitals under Kamla. Kamla, you will answer for that. You will answer for that, Kamla. Miss me with the bullshit, but we need it. We don't need it at rape cost. We need it at a sensible cost. If you give it us at a sensible cost, we would have stood with you. But you raped us, Kamla. You raped us, because that is not worth $1 billion. It's not. On your watch, we spent $50 billion on healthcare. Where? Ask Fuad Khan and that next mad woman that you had point for 6 months. Ask them to explain where that $50 billion gone. Kamla, how much? $90 billion in HTC. For what? For what? A man set up a concrete batching plant in central Trinidad and Tobago. He makes so much money off HTC. You know he makes his own lake? He makes his own lake. Go and see. He built it in the middle of a residential area. When the residents come to complain, Botiwari, Minister of Planning, signed it himself. Corruption in joke. That UNC, miss me with the bullshit who coming on my wall to tell me about we yellow and steady. If you're red and ready or yellow and steady and you find yourself on this wall, trust me, you're lost. Somebody give them some directions, let them find their way out. Because if you post yellow and steady, red and ready bullshit on the wall, you'll get blocked. You will get blocked so quickly you will think that my page disappeared from Facebook. Hear me, I'm telling you straight. And I am not in Chan and Dane and the rest of them looking for a walk. My partner Rocky, he get handled nice. He get handled nice. I hear they calling him bag of money now. He spent a whole 2 weeks in front of an election whining in St. James waving a flag. For what? You build a whole political reputation fighting Rowley to come back and put the same jackass back in office. You see all you half mad and the other half crazy. Eh? But I'm serious about Stephen Williams and the pen. I'm taking a pen for him. I'm taking a pen. This is a nation on a slow boil. Look at what they just put out there in the public space. I mean, lazy policing. I don't want to hear about Clyde Harvey. Miss me with that bullshit. Clyde Harvey knows St. Finbarr's Church have an electric fence. Does Clyde know that? Because if St. Finbarr's Church have an electric fence, something wrong. It's the church. We're coming to thief in the church. Prayers. A man sit down in our next church a couple of weeks ago. Pray hard, wait for collection and thief the money. I guess he say prayers answered. He hold him up in mass. I go sweat for Father Harvey. I go sweat for Father Harvey playing politics. Playing politics like the next big hair pastor whose daughter is the brightest, best, tallest, shortest, widest, thinnest, wherever she have to be, she is it. 9 billboards going down the highway. But this man's daughter, he's the next one. God for rent. God for rent. I will organize all of my people to come inside my congregation and rent them to you in the name of God. Yes? Build a nightclub to look like a submarine. And fooling poor people, taking poor people money at the end of the day, living in a castle. This country in a mess. And that's why I tell people, never say, no one raindrop ever thinks it has caused the flood. I didn't cause the flood, I was just one drop. But 1 million of you all together, that's a flood. Again, 100 million WhatsApps. So let me just check that. Hear this, yeah? There's this list that they put out, and I shared it today. Because I asked, lazy policing. These are the new fines. Obstructing a traffic warden on duty, $10,000 fine, and or 6 months in prison. Fine raised from $300 to $10,000. You know why? Police fat. Police can't run. So what they say they're going to do is, you ever see a lazy fisherman? He stand up in the water with a net. And if one swim in, he eating that. So there's no, if 1,000 people break the law and I only catch one, I have to fine he for everybody. That is it. So that's what they're doing. So, obstructing a traffic warden, but nobody yet, I have asked attorneys at law, because obstructing a traffic warden on duty, nobody understands what that means. If they're walking down the road and I'm walking down the road and I don't get out of the way, am I obstructing them? What exactly, do I have to be in a car to obstruct a traffic warden? Does a traffic warden know the meaning of the word obstructing? All of these things. Have you ever dealt with who they've hired as traffic wardens? And this is not to disparage them, but I think we should have some, you should have a certain level of functional literacy to be engaging the public, especially in matters of law and order, especially in matters where you could give a man a fine for $10,000 or 6 months in jail. Caught speeding by traffic cameras, $7,000. This is the best. They don't even have to go out to do it anymore. This is set a camera to take a picture of you caught speeding. So we will make the speed limit 80 kilometers per hour and frustrate the crap out of people. The speed limit going San Fernando and coming to Port of Spain have to be 120 kilometers per hour. That is a sensible speed limit. To tell people driving vans and pickups that they have to drive 60 kilometers per hour is madness. You're frustrating the nation. So you're putting people in a position where they have to break the law so you could find them. So now you're bringing cameras. I'm telling you something, I'm telling you something. A progressive empowerment party government will rubbish all of this nonsense. We will go in the parliament with one of them. Remember when you were small, you had a white rubber, one side was white and the other end was blue to rub off ink. We're going to rub off everything Faris right. Rub it off. The nation must forget Faris Al-Rawi was ever the Attorney General. The man is a complete and total jackass. No parts missing, none. Drag racing on highways without the consent of the Commissioner of Police, $6,000. Is the Commissioner given permission to drag race? Do we have facilities for these people to drag race? No. We don't have facilities for them to drag race. We have facilities for Attorney General's children to go and play with high-power rifle and pose up on Facebook. Driving without a driver's permit, $1,500. Does that mean that if somebody pick your wallet and you're driving to the police station to make a report, you're going to get charged? The law has become an ass. Driving without a seatbelt, maximum fine $8,000. Now you tell me, this is the stupidest law on the books. This absolute stupidest law. Because a law is supposed to protect people from each other. Why must you protect me from myself? If I don't want to wear a seatbelt, why are you legislating me into a seatbelt? Your health sector is bullshit. If I get in an accident, I'm not coming in your general hospital, so I'm not any liability to you. Why are you studying me and my seatbelt? I think that seatbelt law is foolishness. It should still be educate the population, let them make a decision. You can't fine, it's like charge. If you attempt to commit suicide, never charge. So what happens if you finish the job before the bill get paid? They will come and seize your tombstone. Come now, man. Driving with a child under the age of 5 without a car seat, $4,000. That is the only thing in this whole thing that made sense. The only thing. The only thing. All the rest is nonsense. All the rest is bullshit. And I tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to end up spending money when we finally get this clown car out of government. We're going to have to spend a lot of money removing Faris Al-Rawi's footprint from the parliament. Remove it. You must forget Saga Boy was in there. Faris in the wrong role. Faris supposed to be serving drinks in a cocktail bar somewhere, pips and young girls. That's what he make for. Faris ain't make for law. Faris is a poser. All the laws that he writes is lazy legislating, if not incompetent legislating. I watch a video about this man saying Rudal Munilal have a crush on him because Rudal Munilal exposed him breaking the law. But seriously, where we going? Where we going under this government? Crime is out of control. And then you have Faris. So when Keith going to evaluate his government, what are you going to do? Who are you going to on fire? What is the president?
I hope it's true. They tell me how you reforming. 3 cheers to you, cause it's years now them laws won't changing. I want to see justice shine out in this country. This ain't no fun when cases are won. We must feel that justice is done, it must be. Don't care how big, don't care how small, the law should be there for all. But if judges taking bribe to throw your case outside, then the law is on us. If when your case is called, no papers at all, then the law is on us. If policemen indeed selling and smoking weed, then the law is on us. And if the brilliant AG let all these things pass, we know the law is on us. Yeah.
Right now in Trinidad and Tobago, people have absolutely no confidence in what takes place in the courts and the judiciary, and that is a terrible, terrible thing. We have a Chief Justice who has just been voted no confidence by the entire law fraternity, and if he were to do a referendum, the vast majority of people of Trinidad and Tobago, and he is refusing to resign. He's refusing to resign. So he's going to further damage the administration of justice in this country. And everybody playing a game called Accelerate. Accelerate and hope they forget. Like Rohan Sinanan, Mr. Foodmaster Supermarket, hoping Trinidad forget the clusterfuck he make of the port. Hoping that everybody forget. A progressive empowerment party government coming into power will deal with crime at the cause level. We tell Trinidad and Tobago, make sure everybody could own a home. That will solve crime. Because if you make sure families could stay home and raise their children, it will solve crime. If we zone the schools so people grow together in the community where you own home, people are robbing one another in the neighborhood. We have transient trainees today in Blue Range, next week in South. How that's supposed to stand up? We need functional communities with functionally supported families to raise children molded with character, principle, integrity, ethics. I asked some young people, what is your personal mission statement? And I might as well have asked them to read the Bible in Chinese, because nobody knew what I was talking about. Nobody has a clue what a personal mission statement is anymore. When a human being devolves to the level where you're willing to stand up and take a video with you holding a semi-automatic rifle, threatening people. That's what they did. You all heard that video? Threatening people. Threatening who they're going and murder. Who they're going and kill. Who is responsible for those children coming to adulthood at such an incomplete level? These are not functional human beings anymore. These are people capable of the worst of offenses. It is not just them to blame. Society is to blame. We are planting these fruits and we are planting these trees and we are picking the fruits that we planted. We can't expect to blame them now fully formed in a society that tells them girls supposed to be hoes and boys supposed to be thugs. I used to knock Synergy TV for broadcasting all this passa bullshit. I think they've done it. I think they've gone beyond that. But it's unfair. It's unfair to this cross-section of people growing up in Morva, Beetham, Laventille, and Sea Lots. We are building ghetto communities. No planning, no ideas, nothing. 500 house in a row. 500 house in a row is a ghetto. That is not a community. People say ghetto is a mindset. No, ghetto is also where you live. That is a ghetto. You've not built a community there. And you're pretending that you're in the house providing business. You're not. You're in the contract providing business. That's what you're in. You're providing contracts for friends to go and build $100 million houses to sell back to the state for $50,000, to the state to collect a $10,000 and then write it off. Well, she couldn't pay. Well, he couldn't pay. A euphemism for well, he's a Balize, or well, she's a rising sun. And this is the bullshit that goes on in this country. It masquerades as healthcare, $6.25 billion. On what? On what? We've shown. I am in court with Global Medical Response Trinidad and Tobago. They are suing me because there is nobody else telling Trinidad and Tobago that contract is fraud. It is overinflated and unnecessary, and they could sue as long as they want. Because if I don't get justice in Trinidad and Tobago, we'll go for justice elsewhere. But we will expose it. Because if the only recourse the people have to ask is, how are you taking $92 million of state funds every year to pay for a failed ambulance system? And for years, every year, it is story after story, horror after horror, people dying waiting for an ambulance. And we've shown $500,000 for a fully outfitted ambulance. For 1 year's worth of ambulance rental, you could put 4 ambulances in every constituency under the responsibility of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, and pass rules and regulations, maybe even laws, that all ambulances must be GPS so you know where they are at all times, that you have paramedics on board, not just drivers, a paramedic, so that when you reach to the intervention, wherever the call came from, you'd be able to start the intervention. Even the people answering the phone must be able to identify on a board. This is 2017. I could download an app to my phone that will tell me where every ambulance in Japan is, but I don't know where the closest ambulance in Trinidad is. Come on, man. Come on. This is madness. This is madness. We would take the health budget and build 41 24-hour accident and emergency fully integrated minor surgery suites complete with their own ambulance. So you don't have to take time off work to go and get a blood test because you want to get your food badge to go and sell Sahina in the savannah. You can go when work done. 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. In each constituency, your own, fully set up, built properly, built on numbers, built in close proximity to the largest cross-section of people. But I've said this so many times, theft and corruption goes on in this country in everything. Is disguised as education. We're spending $250,000 per year per child to train KFC cashiers and security guards. We're not making doctors and lawyers. We may be doing that in Holy Name and St. Joseph and Presentation and NAPS and maybe Fatima, QRC, them kind of schools. But the rest also ran. Every now and then, you had to make a big story. It had to go on the front page. If somebody from St. James Secondary do well, or wherever them secondaries is all through this country, $250,000 a child per year to leave 20,000 people behind every single year. That is why so many children go through so much trauma at the age of 10 with this nonsense, and 11 with this nonsense SEA exam that decides their entire future at a time when they're still not even teenagers. They've not even gone through puberty. They have no idea about life yet. They just know how to survive and play. And you tell them, plan your whole life. Plan your whole life now. Because if you don't end up in Holy Name or St. Joseph or Presentation or NAPS, you're not going to make it in life. And they have no concept of what that is. I didn't have a concept of what that is. I didn't know if I wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. When you're 10 or 11 years old, I want to be a cowboy. I want to be a fireman. The system is crap. We need to do away with the SEA exam. We need to rubbish it. We need to find the person who made us do this SEA exam and charge that person for masquerading as somebody with intelligence. That should be a charge. You shouldn't have stupid people in public office. You shouldn't. We need a 10-year school system with a grade point average and reward students and teachers for performance regardless of where the school is, and drop the name secondary. It's either all schools is college and convent or all schools is secondary. You can't have it both ways. You're not separating fish from fowl. We are not supposed to be treating some of our students as A class and the rest as also ran or second class. That is bullshit. We need to get rid of that. So it's either St. James College or St. Mary's Secondary. Choose. We the people have to make these kind of decisions and these kind of demands of politicians that go into public office. We have to. And a progressive empowerment party government will make sure that we grade our children with a grade point average, and we'll grade the class, so the teacher with a grade point average. The collective class's GPA is the teacher's responsibility, and the teacher has to know and defend if his or her class is high or low. Because if it's high, you get a bonus, and if it's low, you need to tell us why. Because if it's low because of the conditions under which the children live, then social services gets involved and go and visit the parents. And so your child has a right, a United Nations charter right that Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to. Your child has a right to a proper education, and the conditions under which he is living or she is living here is preventing that from happening. That's a properly run country. Right there, and that's just education, and we have the money because we're spending $250,000 per year per child. But you know what we're spending it on? We're spending it on theft. We just saw the education facilities company destroy a legitimate tender to hand, and nobody make a jail yet. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars, and nobody has been arrested as yet, and we have all the documents and we have all of the names. But the commissioner of police runs a police service where it was news that a man get 2 years anger management for giving a police officer a middle finger. And now, if you obstruct a traffic warden, $10,000 or 6 months jail in your ass. But you could thief $12 million to the Education Facilities Company Limited and go your way. You could do that. Because this is not a real country. If this was a real country, from Garcia go back, if this was a real country, the hospital administrator of the Port of Spain General Hospital would have been fired when Christopher Philip had to die like a dog in the yard. He would have been fired. The shift supervisor would have been charged. There is a baby food company in China, the biggest. Now, China have more people than North America, South America, Canada, all of Europe, all of Africa combined. So when you have a company making baby food as the #1 company in your whole country, that's a big job. And the chief executive officer of that company was executed because a couple babies died because of a chemical that was put in the baby food. And you need that kind of responsibility. So when you get the blue lights and the flashy life and the tax-free, so you could go in Trotters and Aria and Siam and dance to music bought and paid for by the National Insurance Board. I'm not forgetting that one, Somebody asked me, why I'm bringing up National Insurance Board that happened since 2013 under Kamla. That's exactly why I'm bringing it up. Because Mr. Adolphus Daniel, who put out a bullshit video about how well his son did in Common Entrance or SEA and that the nation ignored it. Brother, I don't care what's going on in your house, I want to know the $34 million that Anil Roberts pick up and give it back. You should be in jail. Adolphus Daniel should be in jail. That's called receiving money under false pretenses. Live sport. Faris. Mr. DPP. Mr. Commissioner of Police. What is going on with live sport? Stop doing this. Stop. Something is wrong with this country. There have to be somebody somewhere calling the shots and saying, this could fly. This country feels corrupt. It feels corrupt in everything. When you read the newspapers, you don't want to fling it away. I mean, half of it is lies, the other half misspelled, but still, the news, when I read the news, I just want to fling the papers away because it's just bullshit. Nobody follows up nothing. Why are we not having an audit into the health sector to see who is stealing that money? Because if you had 41 healthcare centers as described, fully operational, fully funded, 24 hours a day with their own ambulance, minor surgery suite, that couldn't cost $2 billion. How are we spending 6.5? How is that possible? How are we spending $250,000 per child on education for 90% of our children to fail? How? A system that doesn't understand that not every child wants to be a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. So we have no way to recognize other skill sets, to slipstream them into things that they may do better at. So we just send them in there, and as time goes by, Form 1, Form 2, by Form 3, they may give to us and they discover girls and boys. So they may care about you. They don't care about you. But the nonsense of Keith Rowley, I wanted to read this because we're talking about schools and schools responsible for this. Schools and social development in this country. Express have this thing now. If you want to read anything on their wall, you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for it. But this story, they say this one you can read for free. This one you can read for free. Hear what Keith Rowley... The attack on Roman Catholic priest Father Clyde Harvey has outraged many, including Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, who said it represented the worst that exists in Trinidad and Tobago. Why didn't call them hyenas from an African jungle, like you call the girls who was fighting outside Mokarapu? Rowley said that there are parents somewhere today who might be hanging their heads in shame. Keith Christopher Double-Tongue Rowley. If that was Satmaraj had their rub, you'd have feel the same way? I'm willing to bet no. I'm willing to bet no. And that's why you're nobody's leader. You're a renter politician at best. You're a puppet of the business class. You're a fool. To listen to you speak is to dumb myself down. I think you're the worst prime minister this country has ever seen. I think that we couldn't do worse if we tried. If we went down across from Besson Street police station where all them sprangers and drug addict, homeless people is, grab one, any, mini, miny, mo, you come, you's prime minister. Couldn't do worse. Couldn't do worse than you. Couldn't do worse than you. You are the absolute worst prime minister this country has ever had, bar none. And nobody is defending you anymore. Nobody. Nobody, not even PNM people, diehard PNM people defending you. Stand up in front of the family day, in front of the children with your beer in hand. You wanted to call Kamala a drunk. You and your lineman ballhead partner Roger. Kamala is a drunk, what you are? Nastiness. This is what we get as leadership. When we vote, race. This is what we get as leadership when we move away from common sense and intelligence and vote for popularity contest or negativity contest, because both campaigns will demonize each other. Kamala is a drunk, she brushing the little boy across the road, and somebody was smoking weed in she yard. Don't vote for she. Rowley was whining on a little Indian girl, and he have two children that nobody could have. Yeah, we knew about one, they find the next one that nobody could account for, and he interfered with a journalist. This is your leadership. And then the third option was Jack Warner, an international icon of corruption that had the reverse Midas touch when it came to our reputation, made this country look like crap to the world. Because when they wrote about his exploits in the international media, they had to put, he is also the Minister of National Security of Trinidad and Tobago. So they painted him as a crook and a thief, and then they say, we are such a banana republic. A crook and a thief is our Minister of National Security. Our head law enforcement is that. Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah? But I want you to play this for Rowley. I'll play this song for you, Kitos. This is because of you. PNM anthem. Is you do this. 31 years as a member of parliament and Carnage and Factory Road suffering. And you want to talk about parents hanging their head in shame? You should hang your head in shame now. Now hold your hand and take your lap right here. See if you have shame. Waste of time. They are part of Diego Martin that you have been the member of parliament for 31 years, called Bagatelle. There is Mason, Factory Road, Covine, Rich Plain. Rich Plain said that you've been there for 31 years, but they've not had water for 62 years. I want to hold your hand, Keith Rowley, and take you for a walk and see if you know what shame really means. I want to take you walking all the way up La Puerta, into all them little trace and avenue up in La Puerta, to see if you ever went there before, and come and look at the condition those people live in and what they're putting up with, and let me see if you really know about shame. Because you're a miscreant. You don't understand anything about anything. So they've put you in charge of the social management of this country, but you have nothing like a plan. You have sidekick A and sidekick B, and Faris and Stuart Young. They're there to bullshit the nation while you unleash the double dwens of Carl Minbert and Fitzgerald Hines to finish destroy this country.
Just hold them and walk there. 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 Just hold them and walk there.
And you care because Father Clyde Harvey get hold up. You see a waste of time? You waste a complete waste of time. No parts missing. But why you don't report to the nation about the state of the port? The Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago that was losing $1 billion a year before you is gone worse after you. Mr. Foodmasters, Captain Foodmasters down on the port costing this country an extra $15,000 a day. That's shame. You say you're talking about shame. You have shame. That's thing to feel shame for. Because that money could help little poor people. So them same children that went and hold up Father Clyde Harvey, you want to blame them for their poverty. But you in a party that raping this nation since the Union Jack come down. That is thing to be shamed for, brother. Not Father Clyde Harvey. We do business, it make news. A man sit down in the church, rob the collection. He robbed the collection. I tell you, he pray for money and look at it. He get it. He get it. It is a joke. A Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic. Trinidad and Tobago is not going through birthing pains. Trinidad and Tobago is going through sufferation. We've been suffering as a nation at the hands of two political theater acts, two circuses that come into power and fool people, climb up on their voters, climb up on their supporters back and piss on them and tell them, no, that's rain falling, that's rain falling. PNM and UNC, shameful. If they have a God in heaven, he should send them down to deal with the devil because they have nothing justifying Goodwood Park Hill and Sinclair built on stolen money. I tell people today, join a gang or join a chamber of commerce. Same crime. The ones down in the gang, them using gun in your face. Chamber of commerce, them using invoices. Watching that video about the PNM Sports and Family Day, and I hearing this woman cheering you on about bringing back the property tax, and I'm saying to myself, that is a victim of the PNM education system. That cheering you on, that telling the rest of them in the audience, all you like too much handout, and surrounded by political financiers and investors who are perched on top of the PNM, masquerading as a political organization, raping all your family, your children, your grandchildren, your granny and your grandfather. You're living in desolation and squalor. The road you're living on, it crack up and it mash up. Half your sidewalk missing. You have no water. Police ain't coming by you. Courts and KFC ain't driving up your road, but you're cheering them on. Ain't? What is going on? 682-2110. Talk your talk. 682-2110. PNM anthem. Hello, good evening, you're live?
Hello, good night, Philip.
Yes, you're live?
Yeah, calling from
Woodbrook, welcome aboard.
Hey, how are you going?
Trying to keep smiling.
So, I know you grew up, you say you grew up around here, right?
I grew up on O'Connor Street, 35 O'Connor Street. It is now a cargo company, I think.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, but honestly speaking, they don't do anything for our area, you know.
Nothing
the
at all.
roads are bad. The avenue destroying the whole neighborhood, especially with the crime situation, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But
It's
really
unfair.
good. People need to really wake up and smell the coffee. Because at the end of the day, they need to put aside race and culture and all that and stop with this whole craziness that going on in Trinidad right now.
Thanks a lot for making the call, my friend. I hope Saturday we go in Chaguanas, 6 o'clock. We're having a public meeting Saturday at 17 Caroni Savannah Road in Chaguanas. Come up. Bring the family and come up. Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
Take care, my friends.
All
Spread
right.
the word first. Thanks
All
a lot
right,
for calling. 682-2110. Have your say. Call in. Take a talk. You know all you want to call. Don't wait till 5 minutes before I hang up, you know. 682-2110.
Yeah,
Keith Rowley, call me now.
revelation.
Faris, call. Faris, call now. Stjorty boy. Stjorty, call me now. I want to go on PTSC. Adrian Barrett, call me and tell me where that money from National Insurance Board, when it coming back on the interest that you lend them to Disco Finance, eh? Are you not shame? Rowley calling for shame. Are you not shame? Montai, Antishera, Len Dupre, $25 billion. No interest, interest free. Are you not shame? Chamfer, call me now. I know Daryl Smith. Mad don't put God out his thoughts and call me. I'll make him bite his lip.
Talk it all, you bloody deceiver. Talk it all, you servant master. Talk it all, you friggin' oppressor.
But keep only talking about people who are no shame. Ronson and Annie are no shame. They are no shame. Poor people catching their ass to come and go. The price of food in Tobago double since you show up. You are no shame, boy. You are no shame. Pick a ministry. Pick a ministry. We have a social development ministry that is missing in action. Who is it? Gatsby Dolly. Who is that? What's she doing? How come that not making news? Shameless. Shameless. Shameful. Pick a word.
Talk it all, you mucking pretender. Check your lyrics and I come to test you far too long. You're fooling the children, telling them we want education. Doomsday.
Peter Pan and Spotty Spice, that's your government. Call me but jump out the fancy multi-million-dollar car on Friday and look right and see a sea of people in black and take off like a clip. I tell you, if he was running against Bolt, he beat Bolt. He beat Bolt. Anyway, peptrinbago@gmail.com. Look, we're getting a call here. Good evening, you're live.
Good evening. Now, 1 point. At the tender age of 24, I will say, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. Until every single politician in this country decides to stop being pro-party and start being pro-country, we as a people cannot possibly move forward.
You couldn't be more right if you tried.
And I mean, it's not even, you know,
You couldn't be
I
more
never say
right.
it's Trinidad that it happens alone, because where I go to school in Jamaica, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but that's a small island mentality. But let's talk about nations that work. Nations that shutting down their jails, that run out of garbage. They have to import garbage and rubbish from other nations to recycle because their recycling program's so perfect. There are nations that work, where the social policies work. But you couldn't be more right. That is not just the politicians. All of the people have to put country first. And I'm happy that at 24 years old that you see it, because that tells me we have hope for this country. And on the 17th, we're at 17 Caroni Savannah Road in Chaguanas. Bring the friends and the family and come up the road. Come on, Lime.
I'll come and see what's going on.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks a lot for calling.
Alright, no problem.
Yeah. Saturday the 17th, spread the word. They have a flyer on a graphic on Facebook. Share that. 682-2110 if you want. You have a couple more minutes to make some calls. peptrinbago@gmail.com. Every time I announce it, they get a flurry of emails. So Send them the email now. We need help, as you know, we're building out the party, but people are seeing things happening, change is coming, government and opposition trying to do things the PEP way, and we have to take some credit for that, because before us it was just bullshit and roti noise. It was just nonsense in the parliament, and that has to change. That has to change, because it's a waste of money. It is a waste of public funds to dress up 41 people and all of the attendees that have to go and service them and send them into the parliament. Even the light bill for that building now is a waste, because you're accomplishing nothing. You're accomplishing nothing of value to the people. The country feels like it is devolving and going away. It's not getting better. There are other nations in the world that boasting. We taking bullshit polls and paying people to put out bullshit polls. We have the sexiest accents, and we are the happiest people in the world. Happiest my half-red ass. Trinidadians miserable. You must be polling us on a Friday night when we fed up and we drunk. Anybody would be happy when they fed up and they drunk. But we are not a happy people right now. This is a nation worried. Worried. We don't know where we're going. We're watching the rest of the world do well, but we know that if I get all back pay and I say, you know what, I'm taking the family and I'm going on a trip. When I go in the bank, they give me 100 US. Me and the whole family in America with 100 US. We're going to eat off the McDonald's dollar menu, because foreign exchange, calm, mash up the economy. Calm come in there. Short man syndrome, eat him up, boy. He wanted to make a big noise. Why you couldn't just invest in platform shoes and save us the aggravation, brother? You destroy the economy, trying to hand it over to PNM financiers and investors. Your partner talking about dealing with Petrotrail and National Gas Company. I know what that means. I know what that means, because a conglomerate gone in there to take it. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be ready to march against that. We have to use the courts. We have to use whatever is possible for us to prevent you taking the nation's patrimony and handing it over to party financiers while you golf your ass around the world. That's our reality. Tomorrow night, I want you, as really tread while I'm talking, I want you to tell me one minister or ministry that working, that functional, that you believe that this is what we're paying for. Yeah? Until then, pptrinbago@gmail.com. Messages and calls at the same time. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good evening, you're live. You hearing me? Listen to me on the phone.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah.
So, it was today. Oh, good night to the viewers also.
Yeah, but you have to.
Right. So
Yeah.
today I left a message on the Prime Minister's wall, and he deleted it. So it was easier to delete than address my concern.
Wow. What was the message?
Hello.
What was the message?
Oh, well, it was concerning the property tax, and the way how they evaluated the property. But no one addressed my comment. And what I want to say is that people say they're fed up with the UNC and they're fed up with the PNM. So why just not give the PEP a try and let's see what can accomplish.
Thank you very, very much for that. And I hope you and the family and all your friends coming up on the 17th to 17th Caroni Savannah Road to join us.
Okay.
Yes? Thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
People fed up, they're frustrated, they don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to do. They calling me, they're saying, oh gosh, Philip, you and Ian Allen and Samuel Stafford, all you start a party. Listen, that is a fact. That is not a party. A party has principles, plans, programs, organizations, policies. We know exactly what we would do. If you voted a Progressive Empowerment Party government into office, day one, we could tell you what we would be doing in each and every ministry. Day one. Day one, no holiday, no honeymoon. We come to fix the nation. Day one, national security, the maritime security wall. Day one, the minister, when he's sworn in, get on the phone and call every nation in the world that willing to help us secure our borders while we outfit and build and deploy the maritime security wall that will end the drug trafficking, and it will end the human trafficking, and it will bring to an end the cocaine that's passed through this country that's destroying this nation. That's just the Ministry of National Security. Ministry of Education would begin the process of making all schools 10-year schools and zoning all schools, get us to a place of a GPA, get all the teachers and tutor and everybody, all the stakeholders and all the vested interests to come in, Parent Teachers Association, to come in and have a conversation, because we have to shift away from the child abusing SCA system and set up for a system that grades your child for the 10 years of their academic career. The Ministry of Finance, 2 ministers in the Ministry of Finance, one's job is to diversify the economy. The other's job is to manage the current economy. And one of the main items on his agenda from day one would be to finance every citizen, first-time homeowners, up to $1.52 million who would like to access a home. Once you have a job, apply. We would cut all extraneous costs, shut down all special purpose companies, return to a revamped tenders process, open and transparent, and broadcast live. Broadcast. If I get the contract to build the pavement, I want the world to know. Broadcast it live, open, transparent, capped. If you cannot get more than $5 million in state projects contracts, no matter who you is. Junior Sammy, Senior Sammy, miss me with that bullshit. Whoever you is, you have a cap. A cap. So we could end up with 100 road builders, not just one. Yeah? A properly run nation. A properly run nation. The Ministry of Works and Transportation would be decentralized and devolved to the 41 constituencies. No one-man minister making all the decisions for everything that built in the country. All the infrastructural development and maintenance will be handled on the ground, funded in the constituencies, as well as schools, which will be managed in the constituencies. The health sector would be devolved to the constituencies and decentralized and managed in the constituencies. Public utilities, we would have 41 individual companies transmitting water, transmitting, manufacturing, wells, dams, retention ponds, desalination plants, whatever it takes. In quick time, 41 constituencies, you will know each of them how close they're reaching to 100% on-time water 24/7. And that will be that ministry's goal, to oversee that. We need a social development ministry built on making sure that the communities and the people of this nation are functional, that they're taken care of. And all of the money that we save, because all them private contracts, now weed them out, are coming to squash cockroach. When I tell you, I have a thirst for that, and know who are looking for their names and all their companies. All they're hiding behind 15 and 16 shell companies are looking for them. Not only we squashing them, undoing them, we're looking to come at you and find all the money that you thief. But slow your roll for a second. Job one is to cancel all those contracts. I want to take about $20 billion off of the budget. You see, I'm $60 billion budgets. I know we can reduce it to $40 billion and properly run this country. Because once you revamp tourism and agriculture, you will sup up all that labor that's being paid for in URP and CPEP to sit down home and waste. Once you do that and you start to make this country run properly, and yes, selling everything that have anything to do with CLICO, fire sale, get rid of it, put the people money. If Dupre want it, come back, brother, bring we interest. Yeah, I'm going to shut down Siam, Apsara, and Tamnaptai and auction it. Auction it, put the money back in the National Insurance Board. That is what we have to do. And save about $20 billion off of the budget and share it to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the shareholders, the stakeholders, everybody on your birthday. That is your cut. Because you're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Not only Goodwood Park, Sinclair and Valsayn must get treasury money. Everybody must get treasury money too. Yes, that's what we would stand for, and it is time for people to understand that that's what they're entitled to. Not a 10 days and a doubles on the ground. Come on, Come on, have some self-respect. Have some shame. Keith Rowley called for you to have some shame. You know what? Have some shame and stop voting PNM. Have some shame and stop voting UNC. Neither of those parties have ever cared enough about this country to develop this country, because if they did, 55 years later and 160 billion by how much? 50 years? Let's say 40 billion by 50 years. How much money is that? You don't think the country would have been developed by now? If you spent $50 billion in 10 years on a healthcare sector, you could have rebuilt it from the ground up. We could have had the best in the world, the absolute best in the world. We need an education program and a jobs program that dovetail, so that you know that you're giving grants to free education for jobs that you need. The rest, if you want it, pay for it. If we need pilots, free. You will go and study for free and come back and work for the state till they work out the money. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, whatever we need. Whatever we need. That's what you give free education to. Anyway, peptrinbago@gmail.com. Send your email, introduce yourself, give them your number, your email address, the constituency that you're calling from. We are looking for anybody, anywhere. I think we have Barrackpore, Rio Claro, Faizabad, Tobago, Bubbling, Santa Cruz. I think that's Maraval, if that's Diego Martin Northeast, I'm not sure if it continues there, or if that's San Juan Laventille, I'll find out. But we have people offering us places in these places. Every 2 weeks we would like to be in a different constituency, meeting the public on our Meet the Public tour. Yeah, so if you would like to host the Progressive Empowerment Party at your establishment, in your yard, in your wherever, that you could hold some people, call us, because we will advertise and call the people out, and we will establish constituency development teams, interim chairmen and executives in the constituency to build out together with you. Yes, let's go forward and take this nation back. It is going to require all of us, all hands on deck. To the young people who have been calling in, you give me hope every single day. It is the young people that give me hope, because you all have not given up on Trinidad and Tobago. And because of that turnout that came out there Friday outside the Parliament, I won't give up either. Let's do this, yes? So till tomorrow night, thanks a lot to all of those who were here. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.